Hello, and thank you for coming to a very special factory showcase. We're going to do a 2-for-1 here with the Quartz Crystal and the Silica factories because they are right next to each other, and the production lines are kind of an inverse when you look at the numbers, so I figured they'd match up nice. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at where we're at on the map. So we're actually in the southern forest biome, and the Quartz Crystal factory is on a normal quartz node at coordinates 5452062. The Silica factory is on an impure quartz node, and there's actually a pure quartz node right here that I have not quite used yet. So now that we know where we're at on the map, let's take a look at the production chain. The production chain for these two is very simple. Once again, we're getting very close to the end of the tier 1 product, so we'll be getting more complicated production chains here shortly. This is in the Satisfactory Modular, free to download on Steam. If you don't know how to use it, go ahead and click my card up here. I have a quick how-to video to get you started. So with the normal quartz node, we're going to have 270 raw quartz coming out of there, going into our 3 constructors at 240% overclock speed to give us a 162 quartz crystal going into our dimensional depot. So it's not maxing out our dimensional depot here, but quartz crystals really only used in signs and a couple other buildables, so I've actually not run out of this except for when I'm doing my final lighting in my factories. And before then, I'll usually just grab a bunch out of the dimensional depot before I start doing that, so I can go get it whenever I need it. For the Silica, this is the impure quartz node. We're getting 147 raw quartz out of there, putting that into 3 constructors at 218%, so a little bit of a weird overclock speed, to give us 245 silica going into our dimensional depot. So that one actually is maxing out our dimensional depot for silica. Now let's go inside the factories. We are going to start with the Quartz Crystal dimensional depot. So down on the bottom here, I kind of have our walkway to get in. We come in here. This is a Mark II miner. Actually, we could make this into a Mark III miner and save a little bit on power shards. Oh, hard auto save there. All right, 270 per minute. Let's go ahead and plug that in and change this to 270. Boom, we get 2 power shards back. So that's an easy way to go back in and upgrade your base factories so that way you get those power shards back that you don't necessarily need to have in here. So that's producing again. Those might be slightly under 100% now, but that's fine. So we have our priority power switch here, so I can turn this on and off as needed. That outlet goes outside. This one goes over to the factory. So this is just connecting up there. Now this factory is kind of interesting because I actually didn't put an elevator in here. So there's no realistic way to get to the top. I tried to do it, but the top is just so confined. It's really hard to walk. It'd be really hard to walk around in here anyways. So you know what? This is a lights out facility, we'll call it. So we have our 3 constructors in here at our 240%. Yeah, it dropped down a little bit below that 100 just because I changed out the miner. They take a second to get wound back up. Now all those are merging right here into the center, and then I actually have a tiny conveyor lift here, a mini conveyor lift, going into our smart splitter. That's going to put the overflow into our awesome sink and the normal production into a large storage container and then into a dimensional depot. I did want to take a quick second to mention the lighting in here. So all the lighting is coming from these signs. This is actually an open part of the roof because this roof piece is not available in Structural Solutions mod or in the vanilla game. So I left this area a little open, and I think the roof is really nice. It's different than other stuff I've done before, so I think it came together really well. Now let's take a look at the Silica factory. So I actually like doing this at night because it gives a really cool aesthetic, especially to these signs. Let's see, we got another Mark II miner here. So this is 147 per minute. Why don't we switch this out for a Mark III as well? Yeah, 147. So we'll save on some power shards. And pump that in, 147. There we go. We got 2 more power shards back. If I keep doing this to every one of my starter factories, I'll have a ton of extra power shards. So these are off right now just because it takes a second for that to get going. There they go. So those should fill right back up and be up and running. The 3 constructors are at 117.7778%. So slightly underclocked from that 218 in the Satisfactory Modular. So these all split on top and they merge on top. I think it gave it a nice aesthetic. And then we have our smart splitter here in the middle that's going to go down to a storage container. And we have our overflow tab that's going to bring us into an awesome sink. The priority power switch for this factory is actually right here on the wall. And this is actually just like a nice little bridge across the river here. I made kind of a walkway over this way if you wanted to. I didn't really finish that off, but I probably will once I figure out what to do with this. Is the pure node I was talking about. So the lighting in here, again, all beams, all signs, I think it looks really good. And the dimensional depots purple looks super nice with this factory because it just has that aesthetic that I was looking for. So if you enjoyed the video, please let me know. We're almost done with all the tier 1 easy early game buildable locations. Both of these factories and nodes are very easy to get to, easy production lines that will last you through the end of the game. I'm on tier 9 and I haven't upgraded these at all or added more factories to get a higher dimensional depot input. So thank you for coming. I will see you on the next one.